CJ, your 2-word prompt is Devil's Night. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
In one of the first scenes, one of the cop asks, "Who the fuck gets married on Halloween anyhow?" My parents. That's who.
Really?
Real life.
On Halloween?
Yeah.
How pissed were all the guests?
Probably not very. I don't know.
How old were they when they got married?
I don't know.
Shut up. Hold on 1 second. Hey, welcome to the Overtalking Podcast with your hosts, Ken and CJ. Say hi, CJ. Hi! This is the show where we talk over bird movies because it's Bird Month.
Bird Month.
They're all dead. They just don't know it yet.
Awesome. And by that clip and the title of the episode, you know it is 1994's The Crow that we're talking about today.
Starring one of the Skarsgårds, right?
No. Who would you think was the Skarsgård?
The main dude.
Is the new one that have a Skarsgård in it?
Yeah.
I actually didn't know that.
Yes. Bill, I think. Is that one of them?
Bill? Okay.
Bill Skarsgård?
Bill Skarsgård? I don't know. Which brother is that? Let's see. Did he do any of the Pennywise?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's Pennywise.
Yeah.
And he was Nosferatu.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I got it right.
That
Bill.
guy. Bill.
No, I watched the right movie. I just also watched the remake because I like wasting my time.
That seems a little telling. We'll get to that in a second because I am very curious about your thoughts on the remake. Something I've been avoiding.
Yeah.
Just because it's supposed to be not the best thing, but we'll get to that in a second. Look, you may have noticed it's just the boys this week.
Mm-hmm.
We're flying solo as one does during Bird Month.
We got a V shape going, the flying V.
Flying V, which is two, so we're just kind of next to each other.
Yep. I prefer the right side. You're the leader.
I like the left side, yeah, but I'm just a little bit in front, right?
Yeah. Ken, I have been dying to find out. You teased last episode. What's your favorite bird?
Well, look, I've
I'm sure
obviously
you've
been
spent
thinking hard
so
about
long.
this since that episode came
I
out.
definitely didn't forget about it until just now.
No, of course not. Look,
I'm gonna quickly Google some birds.
it's got to be the blue jay.
Did you look? I saw you look off to the side. Did you see one out your window?
You can't prove one way or the other. Yeah, the blue jay, because it's blue. It looks good.
It's a J.
It's a jay.
I like those.
Yeah, absolutely. It's my favorite kind of walking. So, yeah.
Well, Ken, I'd like to amend my answer.
Okay.
I felt like I
Amend or
panicked.
replace?
I'm still okay about my answer, so I'm gonna say amend.
And
In
what was
addition
your
to-
original answer?
My original answer was
it
of
just
course, I
Emily's?
remember.
Was it just pigeons also?
I think I actually mentioned the crow and ducks. I think I said I like ducks,
oh, okay.
but
Ducks would work.
I think it's got to be either penguins.
Oh, penguins are good.
I love penguins. They're so pushy. Or loons.
Oh,
The Minnesota state bird, the loon.
okay.
Everyone pause this and go YouTube what loon calls sound like. I can't do a good impression, so I'm not going to. But they're beautiful.
And a loon is different than a duck
Yes,
in some way.
in some way. They sure look different. They're mostly black.
Right.
They have red eyes. Red eyes, black head, and then kind of like spotty black and white along the back.
Loons and ducks are both waterfowl, but they are not related and belong to different taxonomic orders.
Yeah,
Loons
that's what I
belong
said.
to the order of Gavialiniformis, while ducks belong to the order of Anseriformis. Obviously.
Those ornithologists listening to this month are losing their mind.
Ornithologists getting
They're
off
cheering.
on all this taxonomy stuff. Look, you get some entertainment and you learn a thing or two here on the Overtalking Podcast.
That's what we're here for. Always.
That's right.
You always learn something.
You learn something every month. Has a dedicated theme that you learn something about something.
I've
Sometimes.
legitimately been considering getting a possible loon tattoo. I think they're very pretty, and I'm in that mode of like I'm itching for another one, but I haven't like nothing is super calling to me.
Well, if you're itching, I think it's probably
Then I
not
shouldn't
time to
get a tattoo?
another
Yeah.
tattoo then. You might want to look into that first.
Yeah.
Where would
There's
you put this
queens.
one?
I don't know. That's the problem.
Okay.
I think also with the loon's like profile, like I would do like a profile shot, like the side, so you can get a
Yeah.
glimpse of the whole bird.
Not head on.
Yeah, no, not just like the beady red eyes on either side.
Just looking directly at you.
Should I do, because so far I've only done black ink. Should I get just the eyes actually red ink so they like pop?
Yes, but then you should use white ink for the rest of it.
So you can't really see it unless you look at it at like a certain angle?
Unless you get really tan.
Yeah, I was going to say, in the winter, there's no way you're seeing that.
No.
Very
yeah.
pale.
Which wouldn't work for what I was going to suggest, which is your upper thigh facing
I think that's,
outward, I would say.
I
Actually.
think that's really going to hurt the closer you're getting up there.
Yeah. No pain, no gain.
Yeah. I'm
what they
thinking
say.
either, it'll probably be either my lower leg or I'll move to my arms. Lower leg
Okay.
being like below the knees, maybe on my calf or something.
Okay.
But the loon, it's long, so that's what's tricky. Like I feel like it, like most of your body is a circle, so it would be a weird like wraparound. I gotta find a more flat space.
You would have to face it, more like outward, like down
Yeah.
the arm or down the leg.
Yeah, I don't know that I want that though.
Not wrap it.
Yeah, see,
But that
Then
wouldn't fit with the orientation of the other things you have. So
now you
yeah,
understand my predicament.
Yeah. Maybe don't do it.
No, that's not a good answer.
I don't know.
I wanna
Do it. Well, yeah. Well, I don't know. Yeah, wrapping a long thing seems weird though.
Yeah, we'll figure
Either that or do head on. Like no one does a head on bird.
Yeah,
And then you
I
can
don't
get
think
the
I
two
should.
red eyes.
I mean, kind of. Aren't they on either? They're more the side of their heads. They're not like our eyes. Birds have
Yeah, you wouldn't really see them that well.
No.
Well, yeah,
But
you'd see like the side profile of the eye sticking
yeah,
out.
I'm
a little
not
bit.
doing that.
It'd be kinda
I think
freaky
that
looking.
is a bad idea.
They're not fully
Overtalkers,
on the
right
sides
in.
of their heads. They're not like lizards or something.
I mean, birds pretty much on the side of their head.
Yeah, I guess so. They look forward though, don't they? How do they do that?
Not really. They get more of a like full like 180 degree view.
Well, tune in next week when we have an ornithologist on and they can see the duck. The duck actually looks like it's more forward, but the loon, yeah, those are definitely on the sides of his head.
Yeah.
Man, that thing looks freaky.
Yeah.
Ugh.
They're cool.
Wow, yeah. Compared to the duck, looks like normal compared to this. This thing looks like an alien.
They're great. They're fun. It's very fun at
No,
night
it's cool.
going to our cabin in Minnesota and you hear them like calling out to each other. It's very peaceful.
Oh, they're friends.
Yeah.
That's
You
nice.
see little babies out in the boat and stuff.
Out in a boot.
Out in the boat.
Well, speaking of people who are not friends, the crow guy and all the other people,
Mr. Crow. as
Mr.
he's called
Crow.
in the movie.
Oddly, his last name's Draven, even though
They could have done Raven.
they could have done Raven. Man,
Too
what a
close.
missed opportunity.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that and more and other things coming up on the Overtalking Podcast.
Doesn't he quote Edgar Allan Poe at one point?
Probably, yeah. I don't
Isn't
know
the
what
poem
happened
about
there.
ravens, not crows?
People once believed that when someone dies, a crow carries their soul to the land of the dead. But sometimes, just sometimes, the crow can bring that soul back to put the wrong things right.
You're all going to die.
We're back on the We're Talking Podcast. Just the boys this week for Bird Month, and we're talking about this week's bird, which is the crow. Caw! Caw-caw, the 1994 version, the good one,
The OG.
the one with Brandon
Lee.
Lee, Brendan Lee,
Bruce
Brendan Lee.
Lee's son.
Brandon Lee. Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
You didn't know
So
that?
see, I'm gonna have you maybe do a quick 30-second synopsis of this
Oh,
movie.
jeez.
Hopefully, you also can time yourself.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay.
Oh boy. Okay. Okay, Self, are you ready? You ready? Go. Okay, so picture a couple the night before their wedding, they die. they're beat up and hurt, and they die. And then the guy, the raven, the crow, is resurrected, and he finds out his wife is dead. And he's like, I gotta go kill all those people that killed my wife, and then I can be at peace. Oh no, 5 seconds left. And then some action happens, and he can heal in time. How'd I do?
Yeah. That's pretty much it. I mean, like they kind of established at the beginning, like why it's or like the lore of the crow.
Yeah, there's the little kid in the movie is the narrator, and she says that they think the crow guides your soul to death or something.
But if you have unfinished business, then the crow remains, or something like that.
Yeah,
Which is what happens here. Because dude's fiance on the night before their wedding, I guess. 'Cause
Devil's Night.
They were getting married on Halloween. Oh my God, we didn't even circle back to that. How old were your parents when they got married?
I don't know.
Okay, cool.
I don't know how old my dad is. That's a real thing.
Oh wow. Okay.
He won't tell us.
Okay. Has anyone talked about their wedding as like, did anyone dress up or?
No, it was not a costume wedding. I know that for sure. They didn't really dig into the whole Halloween thing. I think it honestly was just like the venue had that date free kind of thing. I don't think they thought much more into it.
Okay. Did kids come?
I don't know. Probably not.
Yeah, I'd imagine kids would be kind of upset
Yeah,
about that. Huh.
I know you would.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
How come
Oh
your
my
wedding
God.
wasn't on Halloween?
Yeah, because I wanted to go trick or treating.
All right, fair.
That's why.
Good answer.
Too spooky. Anyway, yeah. So, dude's fiance. Some people break in for seemingly no reason. Like, was there a real reason why they were targeted?
It was some sort of like land scheme or landlord or eviction thing. They wanted them to, they were getting evicted, but they pushed back. But I think it's because that like evil mob boss guy owned the place or something.
Man, they sure did nothing with the building
Yeah.
after they evicted them. Literally nothing. Yeah, but they also decide to, trigger warning, but rape and murder the fiance.
Yep.
Which is fucking awful.
Unnecessary.
Very. And then they also kill Brandon Lee's character and shove him out a window, and he falls to his death. Or does he? Yes, he does. He actually does die, but then he comes back.
Then he comes back, and he can see through the crow's eyes at times.
Yes. Yeah.
And then when
that's
he
kinda what
like
they show.
when he touches stuff, he gets that things like memories.
He can both acquire and redistribute
Yeah,
people's memories and feelings. Which is he eventually meets up with the cop who showed up at the scene the day he died and relives. That cop stayed by his wife's side before she died, or fiance's side before she died, and so he got to live that, which comes back later in the movie.
Yeah. And listeners, do you want to know where this takes place? Well, of course, it takes place in Inner City. You know how on cop cars it tells you the name of the city that the police are from? Their cop cars say Inner City.
Did it really?
Yes.
It says Inner City? Wow, okay.
Because I found that very funny because the entire time
That's
I was like,
great.
where is this supposed to be taking place? I guess it doesn't really matter, but they took the time to slap the words Inner City along the cop cars.
That is pretty awesome. Now, this is based on a comic series, right?
Yes,
I wonder if they called it Inner City in the comics too, which would be
probably.
pretty awesome.
It's almost like, Inner City was one of the characters in the movie.
Shut up.
It's because the whole place is a vibe. This whole movie is like
That is true.
a 90s music video.
So, that's part of the big lore of the movie, and we already said it, but like Brandon Lee dies on set during this movie, which is why it's cursed.
Yeah.
And it's during a scene that's really actually more towards the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Which is kind of surprising.
Yeah. I read about it, so I knew which specific actor kills him in real life accidentally. And then they got to the scene and they like do the scene, and I was like, oh, so they must have really finished the whole movie and then wanted to like reshoot that specific scene or something.
Yeah, it must have been doing reshoots. I don't honestly have all the details, but yeah, it's a specific scene where they have a revolver, but they have the whole scene. And
Yeah.
in fact, they have basically the whole movie. It's not
Yeah.
like this movie is like missing pieces because he, died during filming. They have all of the critical scenes, but you will notice, and this is why I brought it up now, there are a lot of scenes where it's just his back or it's just his silhouette and you hear his voice or something, which is kind of what adds to the vibiness of this movie, where he's on a rooftop and he's playing guitar or he's like just being moody in a room in a silhouette in front of a window or something. And they had to have that probably to pad out the movie or to fill in things that they maybe didn't get to.
Yeah.
But it still works, and it adds to the vibiness of this inner city hard rock metal
Grunge.
thing they got going. Yeah.
The whole movie is a 90s grunge music video.
Yes. It basically, yeah.
Also, speaking of music, so it's established that Brendan Lee's character, it was in a band. He plays guitar.
That's right.
And at one point in the movie, I think he's like quoting one of his songs or something like that. He says, "It can't rain all the time." It rains all the
But it
time in
does,
this movie.
yeah. It sure does try to, doesn't it?
There's never one scene where it's not raining in the movie. But it's a vibe, man.
God. It's a vibe. And that's what makes this actually probably, a good movie is maybe because they were forced to do that it, maybe not the rain, but all of the other things. Although maybe they had to do that to obscure his face too. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this movie's complete. Like,
Yep.
you get to see his face and his actual acting in action scenes.
Yeah. There's an ending. Like they got it all.
Kind of nuts. Yeah. I'm looking at the IMDb right now, and it's still not quite clear to me, how they got to that point. Because they're talking about, a scene filmed 2 weeks before. Lee had called the same gun to be shown in close up. Oh, they wanted another shot of it in close up. Okay.
Yeah.
And they usually use dummy cartridges, but this time they used blank rounds, which contain powder and primer. But still no bullet, but that was enough to...
I thought it was a piece of one of the blanks got lodged in the barrel. And then so when they fired it again, it was like the piece of the blank that actually...
Yeah, then reinserting the bullet. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that punctured him.
That's crazy.
Yeah, terrible.
Yeah.
And yet it happened again on Alec Baldwin's set.
Is that the exact same situation that happened for
I
him?
think
I
it
thought it
was-
was a live round.
I don't think it was a live round, but I don't know too many details. I know it was another accident like that.
Yeah, I know it was another gun-related accident.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a live round in that gun. Someone messed up on set, and yeah, they had charges held against them for
Good God.
involuntary manslaughter.
Why do you have... Okay, yeah, so many questions. Never mind.
Yeah, that's for another movie.
Yep.
We'll get to... Did that movie come out? Rust?
I don't know.
I think it did.
We shouldn't do that. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, that's kind of dark. This movie's already kind of dark.
Yeah.
We've gone pretty far down this really dark road.
Also, I don't need to see Alec Baldwin anymore, I think. I'm good with him. He's done enough.
Is he canceled or something, or are you just over him?
I don't know. He's just kind of a weird dude. I don't like him.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah. I remember he got into a whole spat about one of those like online wars, I think, with other Trump impressionists, where he was saying his was better or something like that. I was like, no, it's not. James Austin Johnson's is so much better than yours. You're
That's
barely
true.
doing anything.
Yeah, I know.
It's fine. I think you get called onto SNL because you're available and live close by. I don't know that it's because of your skill set.
Right. I'd agree with that.
Yeah. Okay, back to the movie. One other thing I enjoyed was, I don't know if you caught this, but I definitely did because I edit the Skull Wizards episodes, and some of the sound effects in this movie are the exact same sound effects that I use for Skull Wizards. Yeah,
I did not catch that. No.
Here, let's see if this works. The punch sound effect. That
they had that in there. Seriously, Jesus. That's probably used way more than we realize.
Yeah, that was for sure. Because when it happened, my brain was like, I just listened to that a couple weeks ago when I was editing.
God, I have that problem. Like, the screams that we have on our soundboard for
the Wilhelm
Spooky
scream.
Month?
Oh, the spooky ones.
Yeah, all of those. I hear those all the time in horror movies or just normal movies because they are just genuinely just spliced into big movies all the time.
Yeah. I mean, I laugh now every time I hear the Wilhelm scream and stuff. Like, I don't think it's a bad use. I love when people do, but I think it's just so recognizable that it like cracks me up anytime.
That's recognizable beyond our show, right?
Yes. That's just been used in cinema for decades.
I actually disagree. I think it's overused. I think it really pulls you out of the movie.
I think because I enjoy it so much, I'm like, yay, they used it again.
No one screams like that. Come on.
Yeah. It's very funny.
Yeah, if it's in a comedy, that's fine. But like, they use it in like freaking war movies. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I wonder, do you think it's just the like editor or sound guy, their little like Easter egg of like, oh man, I really want to put the Wilhelm scream in this movie. Like they also love it.
Maybe. Yeah. Why are all these people pulling from like the same set of screams?
It must, I don't know. It must just be the like go-to sound library thing.
Yes. Is it that hard to just get someone to scream into a microphone?
That's what I was going to say, especially your example of war movies. Like, why not have the actor just scream? That's
right.
That's acting, right?
It doesn't even need to be the actor. Like, no one knows what a scream sounds like coming out of any person. Just
have the director
someone
do
to
it.
Scream into a microphone and make it original.
Yeah.
It's wild.
I don't know. I get a kick out of it, so I'm glad people are still using it.
Maybe before we get to your thoughts on the sequel, which I am very curious about. At the ending of this movie, they had kind of a dedication to Brendan, but it said for Brendan and the person who plays his fiance.
I thought that was his fiance in real life. So that was the other thing. He was engaged when he died.
Oh.
That's in real life.
Was he playing his fiance?
I don't know.
What was the fiance's name? Do you remember?
Shelley.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, sorry. That's not. I was mistaken. Okay, so yeah, that must have been his real life fiance's name then. Okay. Ugh. But speaking of other people who were in this movie, there's a lot of bigger name people in this movie. One of which is Tony Todd from a bunch of things: Candyman, the Final Destination movies.
You've got Ernie Hudson, one of the Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
That was fun.
And that's it.
Yep, that's it.
Okay. All right, let's get to it. I want to know your thoughts on the sequel.
The remake.
I'm sorry, the remake.
Because there are sequels to this.
There are sequels to this, yes.
Yeah.
The newer remake. What year did it come out? Do you know?
Last year.
Last year? Okay.
Yeah. 2024.
Okay.
Bill Skarsgård and FKA Twigs is the other who plays Shelley.
Twigs?
It's capital F, capital K, capital A, space Twigs. She was first. Usually that's FKA. I've also heard as like formerly known as. She is mainly, or sorry, I shouldn't say mainly. She was a singer, like a pop star, I think, before getting into acting.
Okay.
She's like an award-winning British pop star.
Did anyone die on set?
Not as far as I know.
Okay.
But I can't say with 100% certainty. So the remake, so in the original The Crow, the first scenes of the movie are the main characters like dying. Like Eric Ravenson, dies. Like that's the first scenes of the movie. In the remake with Bill Skarsgård, the first half hour or so is all backstory. So it's
Oh, wow.
backstory about Eric's character. He ends up in this kind of like rehab center. He's there, and then we cut over to FKA Twigs, Shelly, and then see her life, and she ends up in the same rehab like facility type thing, and that's how
Like
they
drug
meet.
rehab?
No, it's more of, I don't know how to describe it. I think more of like a part,
Like physical therapy? Kind of?
maybe drug rehab, but also because I think you were a criminal at one point. So like
Oh.
part
Okay.
part prison, part rehab place kind of thing.
Wow. And it's co-ed.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So they meet.
Okay.
Shelly is being tracked down from these evil people. She spots one of them coming to visit her at the facility, so they escape. And then they kind of like fall in love after meeting. And so that's like a good chunk at the beginning. So you actually get backstory of like how they met and why they love each other and stuff like that, which
Okay.
in this movie we know nothing about Shelly. The character
Yeah.
dies and then that's it.
Shelly, I'm not sure, has any lines.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then this one, the big bad guy has like supernatural powers.
Huh.
So before the crow stuff happens, you find out that he's able to sort of like whisper in people's ears or say something, and it convinces them to do it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And it's cool how they do it. He like quickly leans in, and then the voice gets all like distorted and like demonic sounding. Also, the remake is so gruesome. It is a hard R.
Really?
Yes.
Well, maybe I would like it.
There's a big like shootout action scene that is like you see everything.
Wow.
There's so much blood and gore.
Okay.
Yeah. So
All right,
that part
so-
I kind of liked.
Yeah.
like-
So what's the downside here?
There's parts that are just it feels like weird, or like overall I think it was still like fine. I don't think it was that bad. But
Okay.
I think I walked away being like, yeah, that was okay. It wasn't really boring, which is good. Like kept my attention. You're kind of moving through it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why it got like lambasted so hard with terrible ratings. I think it was perfectly fine.
Okay. Huh. What? Let's just take a peek, because we're probably not going to do a full episode on this at this point. But 21% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I don't get that. I don't get why it's that low. I would expect maybe I could see why the critics don't like it, maybe like a 40-50 kind of thing. 20 seems real low.
Yeah, that's the tomato meter. But yeah, the popcorn meter, for which is the audience, is 61%.
Yeah,
So
I think I
yeah,
agree with that.
Normal people think it's okay.
Yeah. I think it was fine. I think it was kind of fun to compare the two. I have no idea why they decided to all of a sudden, like, why now's the time to remake it kind of thing, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it was one of those things where like the studio, whoever made it, wanted to hang on to the IP, so they had to do something with it before it expired or something. I don't know.
Maybe. Or maybe Bill Skarsgård felt like he had done enough to do a movie he wanted to do, and he wanted to
Yeah.
do The Crow. I don't know. Cool. Well, I mean, that surprised me, because I was kind of expecting you to be like, yeah, it's garbage. Don't watch it. But now maybe like, maybe I should watch it sometime.
I think it's an interesting comparison because I think they're two pretty different movies, even though it is the same like lore.
Okay. Cool.
Especially
All right.
especially the freaking action sequences. I feel like in the original we get some kind of little ones
Mhm.
kind of throughout, but this one there's like it's a good chunk of the movie is him just straight up murdering people.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I was just going back to, I wrote a couple of things down while I was watching the original The Crow that I just want to hit before we get to trivia. A year later, resurrected Eric Draven returns to his apartment that no one's done anything to for the entire year.
I totally forgot it was a year later.
Yeah, a full year later. His cat, doing great.
Shiny, perfectly white.
Still lives there. Yeah, not dirty whatsoever. Well fed.
Yep.
Uh,
Movie magic, baby.
yeah, like, well, okay, you know what? I just realized the little girl shows up at the apartment later on. I wonder if she's been like visiting and feeding the cat.
I think because I think when she gets there, she's surprised to see the cat. I think she even
Oh yeah,
says
she had
like,
to pull the board. She had to pull the boards
Yeah.
down off the doors.
yeah. She's surprised. She's also surprised to see the cat. Of like,
So what the frick was
Yeah.
Do you think the cat was resurrected too?
yeah, that's the fiance. They just never knew.
Oh, that's it.
It's a white cat. It implies like angelic.
Yeah, maybe
I
that's
cracked it.
Weird. And then I don't know if this was just my watch because I don't remember this being a problem when I watched. This is the second time I've seen this movie, just to throw that out there. But during this viewing, I don't know, man. I've been having eye issues lately, so I might attribute it to this. But like, there's a lot of really dark scenes with a lot of really
Yes.
bright flashes
Yeah.
that made it pretty difficult to watch in a dark room, which is the way we watched it. And eventually we're like, man, I got to turn on the lights. Like, this is like hard to watch.
I had
Did
to
you
like
have that?
close my blinds so that I could like see what was on the screen because otherwise it was like the glare, like the two darkness of
Oh.
the screen. I couldn't see anything.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember that being a problem the first time I watched it, but yeah, this time it was like distractingly almost hard to watch at times. But aside from that, I enjoyed it. Yeah. All right. That's all I got. You got anything
Okay.
else before we move on?
No, it was my first time. I guess I should say I've never seen this before.
Well, I think it's time to move on to. Hey, did you know that? That's right. It's time for Hey, Did You Know That? Which is the trivia portion of our show, where typically it's CJ and our guest being pitted head to head to see who knows the most about what they watch. But this time, my lovely wife Meg did the trivia, so now CJ and I can do it
Battle it out.
against each other.
Thank you, Meg.
Thank you, Meg. So, just for those who don't know, I'm going to read the trivia. She's written it in a way where I don't know the answer, and I have to like highlight it to see what the answer is. So,
So you cheated for sure. We all know
I've
that.
not cheated. I've not highlighted anything yet. She also wrote something at the top that she wanted me to read out loud. Most people know that a group of crows is called a murder, and a murder is what we observed in the beginning of this film.
Very good.
Yep. Okay.
That did happen.
That's right. All right. First, but there's only one crow in this movie. All right. The first question.
There's two.
Are you ready, Siege?
There's Eric and the bird.
Oh, that's right.
I'm ready.
Are you ready? I'm ready. All right. First question. This is multiple choice. What interest? Oh, so I should say the first trivia question we're doing every week for Bird Month is related to the bird in question, which
That's right.
in this case is a crow. And the question is, what do you call a group of crows? No, just kidding. What interesting behavior have scientists observed crows doing in the wild? This is multiple choice. Is it A, flying upside down for fun? B, copying other animals' calls and sounds to scare off predators? Ooh. C, hibernating for the winter? Or D, using tools to obtain food? Oh. Huh.
I'm going to say D.
Yeah, I don't think
Tools.
it's possible to fly upside down. And how do they know it's for fun?
They asked.
I actually was going to say the tools one as well. The only thing I can think of is maybe the copying other animals' calls, but I don't think they're capable of that. So yeah, I'd say tools to obtain food. And the correct answer, yep, that's it.
Nice.
That's it. All right. We're both on the board. Woo! Next question. Another multiple choice. Many accidents occurred during the filming of The Crow. Which of the following incidents happened on the first day of shooting? I don't know. Is it A, a studio fire destroyed the main set? Wonder what the main set would be. The apartment, maybe? B, a carpenter on set was severely burned by live power lines.
Dang.
C, lead actor Brendan Lee cut his hand breaking a window. Or D, a car explosion stunt went awry, injuring an extra.
That's a tough one. I'm gonna go
All
with.
of these are pretty believable.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the cut hand one.
I was thinking that too, but the car explosion thing, that was a real stunt. I'll go car explosion just to be different.
Okay.
All right, the correct answer is neither of us are right. A carpenter on set was severely burned by live power lines.
Dang. Because yeah, he does cut his hand on a window in the movie, and I thought maybe
He
that
does.
was maybe it was real.
He purposely breaks the window and then
Swings on it,
grabs the
and then
swings
comes back
out on the
inside.
broken-
Kind of a pointless scene, but whatever.
It's got some feelings.
He's having fun.
Got to do something to the grunge metal being played.
Yeah.
All right, no points that round. Next question. Early in the film's development, an unexpected idea was pitched. Which of the following was actually proposed? A, making it a musical starring Michael Jackson. What? Huh. B, setting it in the future. C, turning it into a cartoon. Or D, switching birds and calling the film The Vulture. I don't think that last one.
Yeah, me neither. The musical doesn't feel that outlandish because the set seems like some of Michael Jackson's music videos, like Thriller.
It does. And it's so random for that to be something that Meg came up with.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with that.
I was going to go with that as well. That's the answer. Yeah.
Wow.
What? So it was pitched. I mean, obviously they didn't probably go that far with it, but
Yeah.
that would have been wild.
Yes. Yeah,
Huh.
but I feel like they would not have to change the set at all. I feel like it still works
No.
perfectly. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Go out in the street, do Thriller.
Yeah, do some dances.
It
In
would,
the
it
rain.
would all fit. Interesting. All right. Well, we both got that point. Next question is open-ended. According to James O'Barr, approximately what percentage of his original The Crow comic book made it into the 1994 film adaptation? Closest percentage wins the point. Okay, so I guess we probably need to say it at the same time then.
Yeah. Closest to the comic book series. Something I know absolutely zero about other than it exists.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, I got something. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
60.
50.
Okay.
Okay. Correct answer is 40%. All right.
Dang.
I'll take it. I was thinking it was like, maybe it's just a generic, 50%.
Yeah, I was trying to think
or
of a
something.
number you would say in that example.
Yeah.
A nice round number.
some offhanded comment
Yeah.
he made. All right, next question. Brandon Lee took this is multiple choice. Brandon Lee took his role in the film so seriously he blank. Did he adopted adopted a pet crow he named Eric Draven. B, used method acting to capture his character's true emotions. C, applied his own makeup before bed so it wore off naturally to achieve his character's look. I like that one. Or D, wore his character's leather duster jacket every day.
I'm going to say D.
The C one's so absurd. I'm going to say C, applied his own makeup before bed. Yeah, that's the answer.
Dang.
Applied his own makeup before bed so it wore off naturally to achieve his character's look. That's funny.
Yeah. Should I spoil the part of the makeup for the remake for you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, in the remake, that's his blood.
Of course it is. Yo, I was looking at the poster for that crow, and he has like the mouth thing going out the sides, just like Pennywise. So if that's blood,
It's his black blood. His blood is black now.
oh, his blood is black now.
Yeah. And that's
Okay.
his blood.
What the heck? Okay,
It's creepy.
that's creepy. I like it. All right, next question. Again, multiple choice. Which actress was originally offered the role of Shelley, but turned it down due to disliking the script? Was it A, Winona Ryder?
You mean you didn't like that you have no lines and you're in the movie for one whole minute?
Well, here's the thing. I don't know if the original script had more. I wonder if it did have more backstory. And
Yeah,
they,
maybe.
I don't know. Was it A, Winona Ryder, B, Cameron Diaz, C, Uma Thurman, or D, Juliette Lewis? I'm trying to think who would be the right age here.
Yeah.
1994.
Winona Ryder, I'm going to go with.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think too. Yeah, I'll also go Winona Ryder. No, that's not it. It was Cameron Diaz.
Hmm.
That would have been.
The 90s
I
were.
mean, anyone could be kind of a waste,
Yeah.
at least in the end product. We're coming out of the wire here. I have 4 points. You have 2, Siege.
Damn.
We'll see if you can catch up. We'll make this one worth double.
Okay. Love
Okay.
it.
What is the Rotten Tomatoes tomato meter score in
Oh.
percentage? We'll do closest without going over, and since I'm in the lead, I'll go first. I actually don't know what the answer is. Critics score on Rotten Tomatoes. I think they liked it, and typically critics are pretty forgiving when an actor dies in a movie, just like because of that Fast and Furious movie.
Paul Walker.
Yeah, Paul Walker. I'll go like 80%. That's probably too high.
Man.
I don't know.
Speaking of which, Netflix is coming out with the Paul Walker documentary next year, 2026.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. So, Tool Man, I hope you're listening.
Yeah.
Guess who's coming on to talk about it?
Got some more content for you.
Okay, you said 80?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Higher or lower, Bob?
I think I'm going to go higher. I think I'll say
Okay.
81.
81?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. 87%. All
Damn.
right. We'll say that ties it up then.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
That's high.
And I'll let you choose. Do you want to do the popcorn meter or do you want to do the letterbox rating for the tiebreaker?
Ooh, let's do Letterboxd. I feel like
Letterbox?
I have less of a handle on that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah, we'll say what we think our letterbox, what the letterbox average rating is for The Crow. It's out of 5 to 1 decimal point.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
3.6.
3.7.
Oh.
Okay. The correct answer is 3.8.
Dang.
We were both pretty close.
Yeah, that was good.
Got it down. But that makes me the winner. Yay!
Congratulations.
Thank you. Just for fun, what do you think the Rotten Tomatoes popcorn meter was?
I'm
gonna
probably
guess higher.
Yeah, still up there. Did it like I
So
think
it was 87 for critics.
80?
I'm gonna guess like 90. 90%. Okay, yeah,
Dang.
pretty good.
That is really
Pretty
high.
good.
Wow.
Yeah, it's weird that it's 90% for popcorn meter, but only 3.8 on. Like that should average out to like closer to a 7. But
Yeah.
whatever, or 70%. Anyway, people have their own opinions, but so do we. So it's time for.
You've heard us debating, we know you've been waiting, so now it's time to hear our ratings.
But I will say, how many people do you know go on Rotten Tomatoes and rate stuff? Because we don't. We rate stuff on Letterboxd.
I have no idea who's doing that.
Yeah.
So what kind of psychopath is going on Rotten Tomatoes
Exactly.
and adding to the audience score there?
So I think the Letterboxd is really the true actual user submitted. That and IMDb I think is usually also similar.
Yeah. Yeah, I know people build like lists and stuff on IMDb, so they're probably rating more often there too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it literally just like users making the popcorn meter?
Yeah, I think so. Because the times I read them for the show in the past, it is like I'm a parent and brought my kids and they loved it. Like it's just random
Oh, wow.
people.
Yeah. No, that's literally it. It's just people on the site. Okay. CJ, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate the 1994 version of The Crow for you?
I'm glad I watched it, knowing that was the only thing I sort of knew about the movie going into it was the sort of the lore behind it, that Brendan Lee dies in real life on set, which is tragic. I think this is not a bad movie. I don't think it's a great movie. I think it is fine, in my opinion. I'm trying to give it some credit that it was like an early 90s movie. And so action sequences and stuff like that, I don't think were the big blockbuster choreographed stuff we see more in the recent future. Because I was pretty disappointed about like the final him and the big bad fight was like not much happened really.
Yeah.
like it was sort of smart of them on how they got rid of each supporting character on each of their sides, like deaths and stuff. Like the cop gets shot, so he's taken out. The half sister or whatever
that he's making out with,
that he makes out with, that the villain makes out with, which is very strange. We didn't talk about that. She dies from the crow, like pecks her eyes, which I enjoyed that. But then they fight on a rooftop with like a sword, and then that's kind of it. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Also, not to go too far in the plot holes here, but like they shoot the bird, he loses his powers, but the bird's not dead. The bird's like barely wounded.
So why did he lose his powers?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think this is fine overall. Like a 6, I think.
Okay.
It's not bad. I just don't. I don't think it's that great either.
Okay.
Ken,
for me, I think I liked it more than you did. I don't know, the like choreography for the fights and stuff didn't really bother me as much. The flashing lights did.
But sorry, the final gunfight in the church is like they're shooting so many bullets and they're like 10 feet away and no one's getting like hit at all and stuff. So that scene was a little like over the top. And the whole movie just feels more like dramatic, like melodramatic, like the acting and stuff and certain scenes is like, I don't know that I like this. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I think that's all valid. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not a perfect movie. But again, for me, I think this is really freaking morbid, but the fact that, you know, the lore behind it really adds to it for me. As sick as that is, it does, and adds a bit of a draw. So I do like, you know, the grunge moodiness of it all. I think it's a whole vibe. It's awesome. It's creepy for multiple reasons. Again, not a perfect movie, but for me, I'm going to give it, I think if it was the first time watching it 2 years ago, I would have given it an 8, but I think I'm going to just give it a 7 this time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So not far off.
No, not too far off.
I did see Meg also gave it 3 stars on Letterboxd, so I feel like, okay, I'm not so far off here that it wasn't just me.
No. Yeah, it's not without its faults, but
yeah.
Still okay.
Yeah.
Not bad.
I think it's fine. And to be honest, that's probably what I would give the remake to. I think like
really
for way different reasons, but but I think overall I was like, yeah, that was fine. Like I didn't hate that. I don't know why people, like the critics are so harsh on it.
Okay.
I think just as an experiment, you should watch the remake because it is very interesting what they decided to keep and what they changed and yeah.
Yeah, I am very curious now. I will probably circle back to that at some point. But yeah, that's it for now.
Are you going to watch any of the sequels? Because I am not. They made like 4 sequels to this, which is insane.
Sure did. I looked into it after I watched this the first time because I was like, oh, I kind of want to see where it goes. But also, like, obviously different actors, I think, every single time.
And the ratings, I think, like, plummet immediately.
Oh, immediately.
Yeah.
Very bad. And I think almost all are direct-to-video.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. That's what I didn't understand. It was like, okay, so the second one is really bad. And then so you made another one, and that was really bad. And then made another one, and that was really bad. Who is still signing off on these?
I don't know. I mean, you know, that happens a lot with these horror movies, but this one's not super horror either.
No,
like
it's just
it's more action, like genre. Almost, you know, it's a comic book movie.
Yeah,
it's weird, but yeah, there's literally. Oh, they had a 5th film planned. It was The Crow: 2037. It was supposed to be directed by Rob Zombie.
Oh hell yeah!
That would have been. I mean, yeah. I mean, I could see that kind of vibe coming from Rob Zombie.
Yeah. I do like, okay, really fast. The sequels are titled The Crow: whatever, City of Angels, Stairway to Heaven, Salvation, and Wicked Prayer.
Oh, wow. So Crow 2037 would have actually been the 6th movie. Is that right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it would have been the 6th.
Jesus.
Oof.
Oh, Danny Trejo's in the 4th film.
Nice.
And Tito Ortiz. Tara Reid.
The second, it's an interesting cast. The second one has a 16%. Why did you keep making these then?
I don't know.
Weird.
I wonder if it's like in order to keep the rights, they had to kind of pump them out every once in a while.
What I was saying earlier.
Weird. Oh, did you say? Sorry.
Yeah.
Cut that out. All right. Siege, thank you for joining us. Well, what do we got at the end here?
Follow us on all of the things at Overtalking Pod. You can email the show, overtalkingpod@gmail.com. Email us like the listener did who recommended Howard the Duck months ago. And hey, look at that. We did it. we'll do stuff like
listen
that.
to your recommendations.
Call or text the show at USACat1591 or go to our very real website, overtalkingpod.party.
And oh no, they're here. Flying in as a flock of crows and then assembling into a single figure.
Which we all know as a murder.
That's correct. A murder of crows. It is the Overtalking Overlords. Or one, I guess, because of what I just said. They're here to remind me to remind you, if you like yourself, please go on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and rate and review where applicable if you can figure it out. Reviews are what help people find this podcast. Also, we spend no money in advertising, so if you like yourself, please tell a friend and spread the word. We would really appreciate it. Danke. That's German for thank you.
Thank you.
And stick around to the end of the credits to hear what next week's final Bird Month episode is going to be.
Oh, my God. It's Bird Month, Ken. It's just flying by.
Oh, man. I know. These episodes are going to be flying right off the podcast shelves. That doesn't work. All right. Tune in next week for the epic conclusion to Bird Month.
And as we say at the end of every single episode,
Bye.
bye.
This episode of the Overtalking Podcast was produced by Ken and CJ, edited by CJ. This week it was just the boys. Music by Justin Peters. Be sure to rate and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And tune in next time to hear the boys talk about the Angry Birds movie. See you next week.